The little dog was learning how to collect wool. Using its paws was too slow, so it opened its mouth and took a big bite. Then it tossed a large chunk of wool into the air. Just a few seconds later, the wool disappeared. Originally, collecting wool wasn't the little dog's job. Its only task was to herd the long-wooled sheep to its owner's side, and then it could stay by the owner's side and act cute. Collecting wool required special tools and a lot of skill. You could tell from the old man's hands that had practiced this work. He'd been doing this for many years. Once the wool was completely removed from a sheep, the old man would gently toss it into the air. Then he would pick up his thin wand and wave it back and forth through the wool. In just a short while, the wool would turn into clouds in the sky, and all the wool on the hills had been sheared clean. The clouds would form rain and fall. Every time this happened, the old man would put his hat on the little dog's head, and they would hug each other while watching the sunset. Days passed by, and even though the work was repetitive, he never felt bored. The old man would even tease the little dog from time to time, showing how much he loved it. But no good thing lasts forever, and happy moments always feel fleeting. One day, just like before, the little dog herded all the sheep together. The old man was nowhere to be found. The little dog sensed something was wrong, and a strange feeling of panic crept over it. The dog rushed to the old man's door, sniffed carefully, thinking he was inside. It barked twice, but got no response. When the dog pushed the door open and went in, it saw something it never wanted to see. The old man had passed away. The little dog's whole world fell apart. All it could do was stay helplessly by the old man's side. No one knew how much time had passed. Leaves blew in through the door and lay untouched. The dog grew extremely thin, nothing but skin and bones, and it was ready to die along with the old man. Then there was a sound outside. Couldn't ignore it, so the dog went out. Once lively hillside had turned into dry wood and parched sand, covered with thorny bushes everywhere. No one had sheared the wool. It hadn't rained for days. The sheep, with no water to drink, had all gathered around the last puddle, which was almost dry. It had to rain. Sheep's wool had grown so long that it covered their eyes. So the little dog did as the old man used to do and started collecting wool from the sheep, but it didn't know how to use scissors, so it could only pull off a tiny tuft each time. When it tossed the tufts into the air, they couldn't form clouds. Just when the little dog was at a loss, one sheep's fluffy wool started to float up. The little dog quickly jumped on it to hold the sheep down and stop it from floating away. No other way, the little dog had to clear out the old man's house and herd all the sheep inside. There were too many sheep. The house was soon full. It pushed one more in. That sheep bounced back out. The little dog turned around to chase it, but it was too late. Sheep fell into the thorny bushes. The bushes were full of sharp thorns. The little dog couldn't get in, so it could only circle anxiously outside. Surprisingly, the sheep climbed out on its own, while the wool on its body had been caught by the thorns. Beside the little dog, the wool slowly drifted through the thorns and into the air. Although some of it fell off along the way, quite a bit still floated up to the sky. Wasn't this the way to make rain? So the little dog herded all the sheep down the hillside and made them fall into the thorny bushes in groups. This way, it got a large amount of wool without hardly any effort.